Shalawam, I'm your brother Yahawashi from the branch of GMS, South Carolina Midlands. And before we start off, all praise, honor, and glory belongs to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, HaQadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone, who teach and who rule well. And Shalawam to you, hopeful elect, scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. To you, I say Shalawam. With great wickedness comes great judgment. All right, Yahawashi is about to bring great judgment to this place known as America, and in the scriptures known as Babylon the Great, or the daughter of Babylon. All right, because this place, America, is the headquarters of Esau, Edom. All right, the devil. All right, the so-called white man. All right, the wicked, according to the Bible. All right, and all throughout America, Babylon the Great, you can be as wicked, as satanic, as proud as you want to be. All right, and there's no repercussions, there's no punishments, there's no judgments against your wickedness. Hence why you got so many transformers and weirdos in Babylon the Great. PDF files, men, that have an infatuation for little girls, and not just little girls, little boys. That's why this place America has to be taken out. And it's all being exposed in the news and the media, dealing with this this case with Jeff E. The PDF files, and Nero 47, Trump, his name being thrown up in the mix. And the truth of the matter is, all these different leaders, they get down that way, man. All right, all these different leaders, your entertainers, all these big names, that's in within Hollywood, whether it's from the movie screen to the music, or to your favorite athlete, your top favorite athlete. They all get down in the wickedness of Babylon the Great, because in one way, shape, form, or fashion, you get to a certain point, especially if you Jake, and not only Jake, but you get to a certain height, in your profession or your career. You're going to have to, sell out to the devil, okay? The so-called white man, and do some unruly, wicked, and abominable things in order to forward your career. You want to make it to the $50 million club? Well, you're going to have to do all types of satanic, ritualistic acts and abominations in the eyes of the Lord. And these devils, best believe, they're going to record it. And you are now belong to the devil. All right, Esau, Edom, all right, himself. Okay, and with this great wickedness comes great judgment. We firmly, we truly understand why Yahawashi is going to do America how he's going to do it. All right, he's getting ready to burn this place. All right, the mother of harlots. All right, this place is just involved in all types of witchcraft. All right, all types of idolatry. Okay, all types of abominations, man. There's just what goes on behind closed doors with these different politicians. All right, these different leaders. Okay, on down to these entertainers. Okay, it gets real dark, real ugly. Okay, and we all know it by now. The whole world is pretty much seeing it, because the Lord Yahawashi is exposing everything. Okay, and it says it here in the book of St. Luke 12:2, and it says, "For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be shown. Yeah, and that's from the wicked Esau, Edom, the devil himself, even within Israel. Okay, all the sellouts of the nation of Israel, the spotlight is on them. The Spirit is revealing these wicked sold out niggas changing up the doctrine. Okay, the latest being Genesis, and their false breakdowns that they're bringing out. Obviously, they have sold out and taken the bag. Sold out to who? To Esau, to the so-called white man. All right, and Esau is being exposed. All right, for the profane, wicked, abominable, satanic people that they are. Okay, hence why, like I made mention, their leader, DJT. Okay, hence why he's in the news and people wanting to impeach this man and get him out of power because of his ties with Jeff. Okay, DJ Jazzy Jeff. All right, Epstein. And yeah, it's just all coming to the light, man. All right, Yahawah is all according to prophecy. That the wicked, 2 Thessalonians 2:8, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord Yahawah shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. And yeah, the elder apostles, the elder bishops of Great Millstone, all right, have been exposing this devil and been letting you know how these devils get down. Okay, it's only now that the world sees it for what it is. And this is all prophecy. Yahawashi, exposing this devil, all right, by way of his prophets. Okay, because the prophets, they're not compromised. The true prophets, let me say that, because you got false prophets selling out. But the true prophets of Yahawashi, they're not compromised. You can't pay them off. You can't pay them the hush. Okay, there's nothing you can give them that will make them stop doing their duties as prophets and watchmen and blowing the trumpet and giving warning, all right, and revealing this devil and prophesying. This devil is just being exposed on all levels, and not just the prophets, by the way. Even his own tongue is falling upon themselves, man. You got all these different, Edomites within Babylon the Great, exposing this devil Esau, not, from Trump, from Nero to these small hatters, man. Amalek is being exposed at a high level for the devil that they are. All right, and it's on a world stage for what they're doing to those Palestinians. And not only that, it's being exposed that those small hatters, Amalek, the tribe of Amalek from the nation of Edom, they're in control of this government over here in America, Babylon the Great. So they're the reason for the dysfunction and the collapse and these wicked laws and legislations, the messed up and jacked up and tainted entertainment, whether it's from music to the movies to the shows. They're the problem. Okay, and the prophets have been telling you this, man, that this man is the devil, man. Okay, he's the devil according to the Bible. He's not white. No, he is not white, not Caucasian. All right, he is the Edomite. He is the wicked, the devil according to the Bible. All right, and it says, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So Esau is being exposed to being the wicked devil according to the Bible, man. All right, and you can go as far as back to the garden, the serpent in the garden. All right, Esau is that same man, that same spirit of the wicked. All right, that's here today. Okay, from the serpent in the garden, all right, to Cain, who slew his brother Abel, to Esau, who had it in his heart to slay his brother Jacob and did that throughout the course of history. All right, fast forward to today, and these devils, these Edomites, are beginning to, about to show that hatred one more last time, known as Jacob's trouble. All right, so he's being revealed. All his future plans of his new world order. Dealing with the wicked elite, the top wicked elite, the 1%, the elite. Who try to do things behind closed doors. Who have plans to control the planet Earth. To set up this place as a digital prison, a grid, to where you're going to have to get micro C-hips in order to function within his society, and him being over control over you and all the resources and all the money. All right, knowing your whereabouts, 15-minute cities, smart cities, and you being heavily surveillance and him being under control. All that's being exposed. All that's being exposed. And that's through what? Through the prophets. Okay? And like I said, not only the prophets, the Lord is allowing his own tongue, to fall upon himself. Okay? The whistleblowers. All right? So this devil, it's nothing he can do now but to do what? But to come with that sword. All right? And, the beauty of it, when this devil begins to bring that persecution, and when this devil begins to enforce, that MOTB, Yahawah is going to bring great destruction upon him with his own sword. Yahawah created this devil to create the very same sword, create and perfect the sword that's going to be his downfall and his ruin. All right, Isaiah 54:16 tells us, "Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire." And the modern day smiths is these scientists, these nuclear physicists. All right, and it says, "And that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy." So the devil put it on this devil, the Lord, Shalakia, the Lord, Yahawah, put it on this devil's brain, all right, to create the nuclear missiles. And that's all for what? For his destruction. Okay? Because Yahawashi himself, he said that all that take up the sword, let me see if I can find that real quick. All they that take up the sword shall perish with the sword. Yeah. So this is St. Matthew chapter 26. Let me try to get to the point. Judas in the multitude, kissing. Yep. It's St. Matthew 26:52. Let me get straight to the point, because this is when Yahawashi was, getting taken up to be rounded up to be crucified, and Peter, drew his sword, and smoke struck the ear of the servant of the high priest. And this is words of Yahawashi, St. Matthew 26:52. Then said Yahawashi unto him, Put up again thy sword into his place, for all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword. And that's words of Yahawashi. All right, and pursuant to Genesis, the 27th chapter, when we just dive deep into it, dealing with Isaac, blessing his two sons, first blessing Jacob, pretty much with the kingdom of heaven that is to come. Esau wept for him to receive a blessing. And this is how, Isaac, if you can't receive it, Yahawashi in the reincarnation bless Esau. Genesis 27 and verse 39, point on down. It says, And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. And Esau is living this out right now. All right, the reason why he inhabit and live in the best parts of the earth, any place you can think of that's like, a paradise, whether it be, Iceland, whether it be Dubai, or whether it can be, in the South Americas, Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, right? I believe that's how you say it. Anywhere, Australia, right? These devils are there. Okay, the Netherlands, right? These devils are there, living in the best parts of the earth. Okay, because they're fulfilling their blessing, their temporary blessing. And it says, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live. And that's how he ultimately possessed the control in the planet Earth. Okay. Go around starting wars and taking over lands and, rape, robbing, and pillaging, colonizing, these nations of their resources, okay, and their land. All right, that's how this devil lives. But the point I want to bring out, it says, and by thy sword shalt thou live. All right, and if you can receive it, Isaac being Yahawashi in the reincarnation, the very same blessing that Yahawah blessed Esau with is the very same blessing that's going to be a curse into his kingdom and the destruction thereof. And it says, and shall serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shall have dominion, thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. So the point is that Esau's blessing was a sword. And Yahawashi said that all that take up the sword shall perish with the sword. Okay. And furthermore, while this devil, his kingdom gonna be destroyed, as you read on Genesis 27:41, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. So if you are Israelite, so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, wondering why the so-called white man has this immense, intense, perpetual hatred for you, it's because of the blessing of the kingdom of heaven that's coming to us. All right, and he knows it. And it's deeper than skin color. Okay. And it says, and Esau said in his heart and his mind, the Hebrew word lab, okay, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. Now, did Jacob get slayed by Esau right then and there? No. All right, but as you fast forward throughout the history, okay, Esau did slay his brother Jacob, specifically Amalek, okay, mainly at the head of that, okay. Remember, these devils, they helped out the Babylonians, okay, when it came to our downfall. Remember, these devils, fast forward to the time of the Greeks, okay. These devils was, bringing hell, the Hellenization period. That's hence where you get the Israelites falling away from their customs through Antiochus Epiphanes. Okay, and if you try to keep the laws, the customs of, Yahawah, the commandments, this devil would put you to death. And then you fast forward to the Roman Empire, to where these devils were in power then, ruling over us then, during the time of Yahawashi and the disciples, later named apostles, and then, 70 AD. Okay? So the devil did, throughout the course of history, slay his brother Jacob. Fast forward to today. Transatlantic slave trade, the taking over of the Americas, slaying both northern and southern kingdom. Okay? Oppressing both northern and southern kingdom, man. All right? So he has fulfilled the slaying of his brother Jacob throughout the course of history. So, the wickedness of this devil and the crimes and the atrocities against the Lord's people is why this devil, is going to receive great judgment, man. With great wickedness comes great judgment. And is not this devil still slaying his brother Jacob with ICE and the slave patrol, rounding up, throwing the northern kingdom into concentration camps, or what they call, what do they call them things, man? Internment camps, if I'm saying that correctly. All right. But nonetheless, concentration camps, man. And in a lot of cases, may not be documented, but a lot of cases slaying his brother Jacob and putting him to death. Remember, they was throwing him on cargo planes and throwing him out, shackled, bodies washing up, on shores. Okay, yeah, this devil still slaying his brother Jacob. It's not still Southern Kingdom, Jake's coming up, hanging, lynched, even on school property, universities, man. All right? The devil is still slaying his brother Jacob. Or what about the prison systems? Okay? Where all types of Jake lives, get lost within that system. Or what about the missing, specifically the women and the children of Israel that come up missing every year? This devil still slaying his brother Jacob, man. Okay, so he got to pay for all of that. All of that. Okay. Let me get this apple of mine. Let's see. Apple of mine. Nah, that ain't it. He that touchy do. Because we know the Lord, man. He a jealous power. He is a jealous power, especially when it comes to his people. Yup, Zechariah 2:8. It says, "For thus saith the Lord, Yahawah of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations, which spoiled you." Who spoiled us, man? All right, specifically, Esau, Edom, man. Let me read up. All right. It says, "Deliver thyself, O Zion," that's speaking to the nation of Israel, starting with his elect, that dwellest with the daughter of Babylon. That's speaking about America, man. And it says, "For thus saith the Lord, Yahawah of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations, which spoiled you. For he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye." Ooh. So guess what, Esau? You touched the apple of the Lord's eye, man. So what the Lord about to do to you, man? All right? What's your repercussions for doing so and still doing so, man? This devil ain't gonna let us go, man. He ain't gonna never let us be sovereign, let us be free, let us establish our own thing. Your Black Wall Street will show you that. He ain't gonna never let us try to elevate as a people. Okay? He gonna constantly keep us oppressed and downtrodden. Keep us destroyed and destitute, so long as we're under this devil system, man. And it says, "For behold, I will shake my hand upon them, and they shall be a spoil to their servants, and ye shall know that the Lord Yahawah has sent me." So it's great punishment coming to Esau, man. All of the wickedness, the crimes, the bloodshed, that's about to return back on his own head, man. Okay, on his own head. All right, and that's because, you dealt treacherously, all right, with the Lord's people, as it reads here in the book of Sirach 10 and verse 8, "Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another." And we got a whole track record and receipts. Just look up slavery. All right, look up yokes of iron and see what people had to endure that. And who was that by? The so-called white man. Look up the different treaties that he established with the Native Americans when he came over here to the Americas. And look how this devil, broke them off. All right, look at Christopher Colombo and his memoirs, and how he came across a peaceable people and decided to take them over, all right, and deal treacherously with them. That's why this devil about to lose control of the rulership and dominion in the planet Earth, man, because this devil is not worthy, is not fit as a king in the earth, man. This devil is wicked, he's proud, all right, he's satanic, man. All right, and it says, why is earth and ashes proud? Yeah, this devil's the most proudest nation of people on the earth, man. All right, yet they're the bases of men. Okay, it says, there is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man, for such as one sitteth. I think that's supposed to be selleth. It says, setteth his own soul to sell. Yeah, and this devil is greedy as hell, man. He can never have enough. All right, this devil is so greedy and so covetous, all right, that this devil is willing to destroy his own self in order to make profit, in order to make gain. Okay, and it says, because while he liveth, he casteth away his bowels. All right, and prime example with Jacob and Esau. This devil sold the birthright for a little uncooked food, man. A little bit of uncooked food, man. Okay, and that's that covetous man, man. He settled his own soul for sale, man. Okay, it says the physician, which is Yahawashi. Okay, the physician cut off a long disease, and Esau is a disease in the earth. All right, he's the reason why everything, creation, the trees, the air, the water, the animals, is crying out to Yahawah the elect. Okay, it's crying out to Yahawah to be rescued, to be healed from this damn devil. He is a disease. He's a cancer. He got to be cut out of the earth. That's why Obadiah 1:18 is written for the devil. He's going to be cut out of the earth. The physician cutteth off a long disease, and he that is today a king, tomorrow shall die. And how is the devil going to go out? All right. Well, starting with America, Babylon the Great, his kingdom falling and going down. All right, it's going to go out by way of fire. Okay. Malachi, and I got to speed this up, put his phone down. Malachi 4:1, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, Esau, okay, and all you Israelites that's in the same wicked vibration of Esau and these heathen nations here in America, it says, yeah, all that do wickedly shall be stubble, and the day cometh that shall burn them up, saith the Lord, Yahawashi of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. So everybody, from the man to the child, gonna be cut off, gonna be burned, destroyed here in America, Babylon the Great. So, Esau's kingdom, first and foremost, America is gonna be destroyed. All right. When Yahawashi bring that great wrath, that great judgment. Okay, not just by nuclear missiles, all right, which you call, of course, nuclear missiles gonna, be the Lord's sword that's gonna be bathed in heaven to fall upon the people of his curse, being Idumea, all right, the Edomites, pursuant to Isaiah the 34th chapter. All right, but the Lord, Yahawashi himself, when you read Isaiah 66:15 on down to 16, the Lord, Yahawashi, gonna be using those chariots as well to bring fire. Okay, and the slain of the Lord is gonna be many. All right, it's gonna be a lot of people that get deleted and destroyed and burned. Okay, here in America, Babylon the Great, and wherever else the Lord sees fit. All right, because we know the Holy Land got to be cleansed as well. All right, but I, just want to put out there this video right here from Atomic Marvel. I'm not going to play it. All right, but watch this video and speed it up to ×2. Okay, speed it up to ×2. And I got this video from watching the brother GMS Ancient Wine, which I believe is a brother out in Florida. All right, I can't quite specifically pinpoint where that brother is stationed at in Florida, but subscribe to his channel and be edified. But watch this video in ×2 speed and watch the damage of the sword of the Lord that Yahawashi allowed this devil to create to perfect his blessing. That's going to be his ruin. And this is a still shot of a human body versus a nuclear missile. And you can see this man is disintegrating. All right. He's literally being turned into powder, like the scriptures say. All right. And that's the type of judgment that Yahawashi is bringing to this devil and his queendom. And for the ones who's outside of America, Babylon the Great, being the wicked elite, who's going to escape this thermonuclear destruction that's coming to, namely America, Babylon the Great. Those wicked elites that's going to be in their bunkers outside in these different safe zones, deep underground military bunkers, these dumbs. The hopeful elect, New Jerusalem, the prophets of Yahawah, the elect, the governing body, we will be coming down off the ships, and we will be coming to round you devils up and to throw you in chains. And you're going to be the first crops, the first fruits of slavery. All right. And, that's prophecy of Yahawashi that you cannot stop. All right. This prophecy of Yahawashi that will shortly come to pass. So, Lord, will this edifying to the elect. All right. With great wickedness comes great judgment. All right. And matter of fact, I'm going to end it by reading that Isaiah I quoted. All right, because this judgment for Esau ultimately. All right, niggas want to be joined to Esau, you're going to be destroyed with them. Heathens joined to Esau, they're going to be destroyed with them. In America, Babylon the Great. Isaiah 34:6, it says, the sword of the Lord, Yahawashi. Oh, Salakia, read up. It says, Isaiah 34 and verse 5, it says, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven, and those are those nuclear missiles, ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missiles. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, and that's the Greek word to say Edom, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. So these so-called white men is cursed, man. Cursed to the Lord's judgment, and we understand why. We understand why. Okay, you touch the apple of the Lord's eye. It says, the sword of the Lord, Yahawashi, is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness. It is, and with the blood of lambs and goats, and the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord, Yahawashi, have a sacrifice in Basra, and modern day Basra is America. And the Lord is going to have a sacrifice. And with a sacrifice comes what? All right, it has to be fire. All right, and with the sacrifice also, it has to be flesh. All right, and who's going to be the flesh? Well, Esau. All right, the heathen nations, the 2/3 over here. And it says, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea, and the unicorn shall come down with them, and the bulls and the bullocks, and the bulls with the bullock, with the Salakia, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness, for it is the day of the Lord Yahawah's vengeance. All right, so this is the day of the Lord Yahawah's vengeance, the Lord's payback, man. All right, with great wickedness comes great judgment. And it says, in the year of recompense for the controversy of Zion. Okay, for the controversy of Zion, and the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become burning pitch. And that's talking about America, man. This place is about to be made a desert. It shall not be quenched night nor day. The smoke thereof shall go up forever. And that just means for a very long time, because eventually the desert creature is going to have to dwell here and live here. All right. pursuing to Isaiah the 13th chapter. Read on down. And it says, from generation to generation, so no man's going to live here, it shall lie waste. None shall pass through forever and ever. So it's going to be uninhabited, man. Great wickedness, great judgment. Lord, with us edifying to the elect. With that, I say, Shalawam, Shalawam to the hopeful elect.